Hey, my name is Melissa Lane, and I'm obsessed with all things self-empowerment, self-development, spirituality, and holistic healing to help you navigate this thing called life in a more fulfilled way. Ever felt like you missed the class on how life works? So did I. I'm just a regular girl who grew up not understanding how to create success, where to find fulfillment, or how to live a life that I actually enjoyed. So I went on a journey of self-discovery, and it led me to the realization that everything about living a fulfilling life can be learned. And so the LifeKraft podcast was born. Here, you'll learn how to stop letting life just happen to you and how to begin crafting a life you can actually get excited about. No topic is off limits here, from the scientific to the mystical and everything in between. Difficulties, failures, growth, victories, and more are all real life happenings that myself and our guests will discuss. Think of this as your library to life, where you can tune in whenever you feel like you have no idea what you're doing. Get ready to be challenged and encouraged to craft a life you're actually excited to wake up to. This is the LifeKraft podcast. If you feel like giving up and like everything is too much to handle, this clip is for you. In this episode of 7 Minutes to Success, we feature American actress and producer Viola Davis, where she shares her life-changing story of growing up in poverty and embarking on her own hero's journey. Enjoy.
My testimony is one of poverty. You know, you heard I grew up in Central Falls, Rhode Island. And let me tell you something about poverty. You're invisible. Nobody sees the poor. You have access to nothing. You're no one's demographic. You know what my aha moment was? I had a memory when I was 9 years old. And I remember my parents fighting in the middle of the night. It was so bad that I started screaming at the top of my lungs and I couldn't stop. My older sister, Diane, told me to go in the house so people would hear me. So I ran in the house. I ran to the bathroom screaming still, just couldn't stop, and got down on my knees and closed my eyes. I put my hands together and said, God, if you exist, if you love me, you'll take me away from this life. Now I'm going to count to 10, and when I open my eyes, I want to be gone. You hear me? And I put my hands together, and I was really believing it. 1. And then I got to 8, 9, 10. And I opened my eyes, and I was still there. So when I gained vision and strength and forgiveness, I can remember what it means to be a child who was hungry. I could remember what it means to be in trauma. I could remember poverty, alcoholism. I could remember what it means to be a child who dreams and sees no physical manifestation of it. I could remember because I lived it. I was there. And that has been my biggest gift in serving. You can only understand people if you feel them in yourself. History is not the past. It is the present. We carry history with us. We are our history. In other words, you're a product of your environment. Now, that term is usually relegated to people from low-income, crime-infested areas, but why? We are all a product of our environment. Your existence is an amalgamation of every triumph, every hard-won battle, every woman who had an idea and massaged it and had the courage to use it to change the world. Every person who survived slavery, Jim Crow, and the Black Codes to the Trail of Tears, wars, and passed their dreams onto you of love, of hate. Yeah? you're also the product of the other, of silence, of apathy. A parent, grandparent, ancestor who suppressed dreams and ideas, who died with lost potential and horrific memories of sexual assault, mental illness, who didn't feel good enough or pretty enough or enough. Even your anxiety is part of your history. And yet here you are, privileged, blessed, to do what? There are two roads that I see that people usually take. The choice to think that your path is all about you and your success, how high you can climb in your career and your status, or the so-called save the world approach, where you have a vision for the world and by God, you will change it because you're different. The first road requires you to mistake your presence for the event, to be in complete denial. And the second requires you only to deny the really bad stuff. It requires you to forget racism, not see color, intersectionality, poverty, any evidence in my family of mental illness, violence. Forget anything in me that will get in the way. Forget my fear, my pain. Both dead end. Both result in well-intentioned, very bright, enthusiastic people doing nothing. How about this as a novel idea? How about owning it? Owning all of it. The good and the bad. Own every heroic deed, great idea. Own all of your memories and experiences, even if they were traumatic. Own it. Own it. The world is broken because we're broken. There are too many of us who want to forget. Who said that all of who you are has to be good? All of who you are is who you are. It hurts, you rage, battle it out, ask why. Then you forgive, reconcile, and use your heart, your courage and vision to fix, to heal, and then ultimately to connect, to empathize. And that empathy creates a passion for people, and it all is the fuel of the warrior. A brave, experienced soldier or fighter. Because there is a cap to success. Now, everybody tells you that's what you got to hit. That's the best of the best that you can have in life. And then you hit it. And then comes disillusionment, exhaustion, isolation, the imposter syndrome, and a loss of passion. Because no one talks about the real final cap. The real ceiling. And that significance. The living life for something bigger than yourself is a hero's journey.
Thank you for tuning into this episode. Remember, this is only a segment of the whole presentation. Please follow the link in the description below to listen to it in full. If you loved this episode, please leave a positive review for us and let us know on social media at the LifeKraft what inspired you. We will connect again in the next episode, and until then, keep creating a life you are excited to wake up to.